people know your story. They know your story because they either serve with you or they know you in the community.
Yeah.
And you know really better than anybody, you know, what these guys are going through.
It's tough because I know about the triggers. I know that they come out of nowhere. And you were actually part of one of them back in December. We had an incident where I ended up...
We're worried about you.
Yeah,
people were tracking you. Were like, God bless technology. Here's where he's at, right here.
You know, you guys did a great job. And I remember coming back and looking at it. There was 3,000 messages from
And people blew
you.
you up on social media.
Oh, it was ridiculous. But because of that, it actually saved my life. There was a part when I was in somewhere near Blackwell, Oklahoma, and I caught wind that this was going on, and I was like, wow, I had no idea this was even happening, and it stopped me for enough time to recenter me and get me back onto what I really needed to focus on.
Right.
So yeah, that was amazing just hearing that. But you know, in the community, those are the kind of things we need to have around.
Right.
Is people pouring in and just trying to help out
right.
with that. So.
And obviously you've been in the dark places. You can recognize them in others. Why? It seems as though, and I wish it wasn't this way, but it almost seems as though people expect there to be a taboo on discussing this, and that prevents so many people from getting help.
Yes, there's a taboo, but there's also a mentality that I particularly had. This is the mentality I had. I was a Marine Corps infantryman. I feel that I'm doing you a service by being a pillar. I feel that me being strong and me being, you know, having that persona that I can take on anything, I'm doing a service to you. I'm helping you because when things get tough for you, I'm going to be there for you, you know.
Right.
And so I'm not supposed to have problems. I'm not supposed to have issues. But the reality is a lot of service members have issues.
Right.
And a lot of them don't know they're having them. Speaking of that incident in particular, after that went down, I looked through some of the messages and I was so surprised. There were civilians, there was tweets from you, there was all sorts of, Michael Broderick, our friend, you know, he was saying some things and it was great, but there was these messages from these guys that said, hey, I was 10 years, you know, Special Forces, I was MARSOC. These guys that I looked up to in the service that, you know, they make movies about these guys and they were saying they were struggling, and to see Daniel Shaw pick me up and take me to a hospital, it was like, they were like, okay, if Daniel Shaw is this guy that's respected in the community, I've got a TV show, I'm somewhat respected. If they're talking about therapy, if they're talking about getting help, I can do it.
Right.
And it was cool to see that because these are people that I looked up to and thought they're the chiefs of the military. They're the guys up there that we all look up to, and they're saying they need to get help.
Yeah.
And I think that,
a lot of times people think that by being strong that's you know, it's inspiring and it will inspire you to fight the good fight, but a lot of times and sometimes people are most affected most deeply by seeing someone say, you know what, I need somebody right now. I need you to pray for me. I need a helping hand. I need just a shoulder to lay my head on. And people see that and they think, okay, well, I realize I can get through my problems too. Right. Even if it's, you know, civilian or somebody who's in the service, they see that. And, you know, they see somebody like you and they're like, wow, okay, if he can talk about this, just as you were saying, if he can talk about this, okay, then, yeah, because I know that there were people who have not served that, you know, even, you know, women who are like, yeah, I've, you know, been going through a tough time, and then they watch your show, which we're going to talk about in a second, they follow you on Instagram, and they're like, man, if Chili can talk about it, yeah, we can too, and that's like a step for them to get help, which is, that's what it's about. Yeah,
you have to be willing to talk about it. You just really have to, especially, and I hate to draw these lines because I have done crisis calls with women as well, but as men, especially military.
I know, yeah, you don't have to explain.
Yeah, you've got to be able to talk about it.